It's August 9, Ukraine Media Center continues its operation. My name is Svetlana Chapretka, and now we will be talking about the massive strikes inflicted by Russian Federation on Zaporizhia region, the consequences, and the current situation in the region. Joining us online is Ivan Fedorov, the military governor of Zaporizhia region. Good afternoon, Mr. Ivan. Good afternoon. So, Mr. Ivan, the enemy doesn't cease the shellings of Zaporizhia region, and the last day was no exception. Can you please tell us about the aftermath of the enemy strikes? Well, within the last week, we keep seeing the intensification of the activities of the enemy in Zaporizhia axis. The figures are as follows: 400, 550 shellings per day inflicted by the enemy. The enemy used to use the cannon artillery mostly. 16% of the strikes were with the use of the cannon artillery, and now they switched more to the FPV drones. Now they hunt the civilians in the areas close to the front lines, such as Orikhovo, Gulaipole. They hunt the civilians with the FPV drones. People are just working in their land plots, and the enemy intentionally kills or wounds people. Within the last week, the enemy troops intensified the shellings of our regions, and we see the intensification of evacuation processes there. Recently, it was like 2 to 3 evacuations per month, and the maximum number was 10. And only within the last week, we've evacuated at least 10 people from the areas close to the forward edge of the battle area. Mostly the people who are getting evacuated are the elderly who live to safer areas. So this is the situation now. It's intense, it's dangerous, so this is what we document. Does the enemy continue inflicting the strikes on the critical infrastructure? Do you make it recovering the key facilities? At the moment, we don't have any problems with the supply of the critical services, neither with water supply nor with the electricity supply. The facilities that belong to Ukrenergo and Okrenergo, as well as Dniprogas, were mostly targeted by the enemy. But talking about the reconstruction, well, obviously we cannot make it. The enemy continues striking incessantly with no interruptions. So no, we don't make it recovering them, and everything keeps functioning based off the backup power sources. And the electricity is supplied through the general aerial lines. Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, what do we know about the situations unfolding there? What do we know about crimes committed by the enemy? Well, what we know that the enemy continues stationing their material and ammunition over there. They created the shield of this hazardous facility to hide their ammunition and material, because they understand our special services, our military, are not going to proceed to the attack of the nuclear power plant. Also, we know that they have huge human resources deficit, and even those people who come to our nuclear power plant from continental Russia stay there for just a couple of weeks, and then they rotate. Also, what we observe is that the personnel which is coming is of low qualification, and what we can say that there is a hazardous facility in the hands of the enemy. Well, the new curriculum year is starting within 3 weeks, so what is it going to look like in Zaporizhia region? Any changes to the curriculum process envisaged due to security situation? Well, we try to implement the offline training mode. Currently, there are 55 school children staying in Zaporizhia region, and we want to provide them with the options they can pick from, whether online or offline education. That's the practice that we've implemented back in March, when we've reopened first 17 secondary education facilities, where our children started studying in offline mode. Also, we follow two key tracks. The first one is the repair and re-outfitting of shelters. Today, at least in 20 shelters across the Zaporizhia region, the repair works are going on, plus 15 more are being re-outfitted. What do I mean by re-outfitting? So if it's an old range in the school basement, we install noise insulation to make sure that it's divided into 3 classrooms. Also, we built 6 underground schools in the Zaporizhia region, and we're about to proceed to the construction of the 7th one to ensure the safest conditions for the school children. Our goal is to ensure that every school child can study offline in the underground school in the Zaporizhia region. The same work is being done in universities and secondary professional educational institutions. So we expect the following curriculum year for all of the categories of the students to provide the opportunities for them to study offline. Also, during the last meeting of the Defense Council, we've taken the resolution to reopen 18 kindergartens for offline preschool education. However, the mechanism is more difficult with the kindergartens. The children may stay there for only 3 hours. Well, and talking about the heating season, what is the course of preparation to this? So we need additional 30 megawatts, and now we know the way to implement this. We will implement this program thanks to our donors. We've announced a bid for cogeneration power plants that would be paid for by UNICEF, 2.5 megawatts plants. Also, we expect the procurement that was announced by UN to procure 8 2.5 cogeneration power plants, and also we are about to get the aid from the governments of Denmark and Norway. So about 30 megawatts of decentralized electric power supply will be implemented during the next heating season. Also, at the same time, we work on installation of solar panels in the territory of our educational institutions and hospitals. Also, we install inverter accumulators in our traffic lights because we understand that during power shutdowns we experience problems with the lack of power supply to the traffic lights. And since it's gonna get dark earlier, we will need to install the additional batteries to make sure that the traffic is safe. So basically we prepare to the heating seasons in all of the areas, and I hope that we will be able to fulfill all of our plans. Thank you very much, Mr. Ivan, for your comprehensive answers. Let me remind you that we were talking to the military governor of Zaporizhia region, Ivan Fedorov, and Media Center will continue its operation next week. We are working on the schedule. Stay tuned.